2, 1.
All right, Don counting us down there. Good Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us on KSAT News Now, streaming right here from the KSAT newsroom. And joining us this morning for the first time in 2022 is Priscilla Caraman, her first time filling in on the new year.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I can't believe we are in 2022.
I know, yes.
It's still so weird to me.
Yeah, and I Happy New Year to you this morning because I hadn't seen you. I know you've been working, obviously, but I think you were in the building yesterday, right?
I was.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so maybe I should have done it then. When's the latest you can Happy New Year to someone? It's February.
February.
Okay,
I think that's the cutoff. So Happy New Year to you.
Yes.
too.
Okay. Thank
Happy
you.
New Year
Appreciate
to
that.
you guys as well. This morning, of course, we are discussing the latest with COVID testing sites in San Antonio. Also, a big announcement from UTSA. They are going virtual to start their spring semester.
Yeah.
You can find that on KSAT.com.
Yeah, so we just sent that out right now on the KSAT app. So, of course, we're sending out push alerts throughout the day. There's pretty big news here. There's a lot of local colleges that have changed the start of the spring semester due to, of course, the Omicron variant surge. UTSA, UIW, Trinity, St. Mary's, and Texas State have all announced changes. So make sure to go to our website and check that out. And, of course, this morning, Priscilla, we're also marking 1 year since the attack on the U.S. Capitol. And this was a pretty interesting story. The Pope speaking out on pet ownership. Yeah, we'll tell you what the Pope has to say and what that's all about. And a new water park coming to Texas. So that's pretty exciting news. People always get excited about water parks.
Indoor water parks.
Oh,
specifically.
indoor water park. Yes.
I mean, you can go whatever time of year, no matter what the weather is.
Yeah, exactly. Is water park weather, Katie? Indoor. What was that? Wait, what?
Give it is it water park weather? I don't know.
Indoor water park weather?
Probably soon.
Yeah.
Give it a couple weeks and we'll be out sunbathing. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
Pretty nice weather so far this week. A lot more seasonable for this time of year. Check out our high temperatures yesterday. We had some spots in the 80s. It was 80 in Hondo, 77 in San Antonio. But you may not have really noticed the warmth a lot because it was such a pleasant day. Light winds, bright sunshine, and very dry air. So low humidity made these upper 70s and low 80s not so bad yesterday. This afternoon, more bright sunshine, more low humidity, but it will be good bit cooler this afternoon. We're looking at temperatures falling through the 50s during the second half of the day. In fact, some of us have already seen our high for the day. We have another front moving through today. This is a dry cold front, so there won't be any rain with it. We've got clear skies now, and skies will pretty much stay clear for the rest of the day. But there's a much colder air mass up in North Texas. They're at 28 in Abilene, 13 in Amarillo. They were down in the single digits for their air temperatures this morning. So a cold air mass will be dropping south today. It's not going to get into the teens or single digits here, but this cold air moving in will set us up for another freeze tomorrow morning. Now, essentially the whole area has already seen their first freeze, so this really won't be a big deal. But if you have the sensitive vegetation, the potted plants, you can bring them in, put them in the garage. This would be a good night to do so. A lot of us are expecting a light freeze, including in and around San Antonio and Bexar County, a hard freeze possible in up to the north across a portion of the hill country. So this afternoon cooler, but then a cold start to your Friday. Things will turn back around really, really quickly. We'll pull in a lot of clouds during the day tomorrow, and by the weekend, we're warmer. We're also a lot more humid. Morning fog and drizzle will possible Saturday, along with some spotty showers. But then another front comes through Sunday. That will cool us down once again, heading into early next week, and another light freeze looks to be possible looking ahead to next week, Monday night into Tuesday morning. So a lot of back and forth here over the next few days, but at least now we can kind of keep the jackets and the sweaters out on a more consistent basis. You may stash them for a day or so. But at least overall, we're trending a lot more seasonable here as we get started in 2022. Happy New Year to you both.
Yeah, same to you, Katie. And yeah, always got to have like different layers and just be ready for the changes in the weather.
You got to keep the coats in the car so that you can have them whenever you need them.
That's a really good idea.
An extra one, because when you're walking in, you need to have one.
Yeah,
on,
that's true.
you
Sometimes
know.
it's cold in here. Sometimes you need a sweater.
It's always cold in
Well,
here.
there you go. So thank you again, Katie, for helping us out with that. And of course, follow our KSAT Weather Authority team for the latest there. So Priscilla, moving on to big local news this morning. The demand for COVID-19 testing has increased significantly over the last couple of weeks all over the country.
Yes, and here at home, Metro Health hopes to alleviate some of the long lines we've been seeing at testing sites and the amount of people showing up to the hospital for COVID tests by opening several new testing sites.
And we've seen these long lines. People have been sending us photos of these lines that are stretched to like the frontage roads. So today, Metro Health announced 3 new free COVID testing sites, which will be opening over the next few days. The sites are in partnership with community labs.
Yeah, Metro Health plans to open 3 more at some point, but details on those locations are still being finalized. And all of the new sites, again, they are free. They do not require appointments, and results are expected to be given within 24 hours.
In just 3 days, last Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Metro Health reported 11,528 new cases of COVID-19 in Bexar County. While these numbers are high, let's remember that we have the tools to fight this pandemic. While we're glad to see that people are heeding our advice to get tested, we also know that there are long lines and longer times waiting at area testing sites.
Yeah, Mayor Ron Nirenberg speaking right there about that, and he just gave that press conference a little while ago. So if you need to take a test, go ahead and take down this information. The first site opened today at the Alamo College's District Support Operations Building. That is at 2222 North Alamo Street, and it's open till 6 o'clock tonight.
Yes, tomorrow at 8 a.m. another site is opening at Palo Alto College, Building 20. That's the Performing Arts Center. It's at 1400 West Villeret, and Monday morning at 8. The third site at St. Philip's College will open up as well.
Yeah, some interesting information there. So all 3 locations will operate Monday through Friday from 8 to 6. Mayor Nirenberg also mentioned there are 17 free curative testing sites. And of course, you can find all this information from that press conference this morning on KSAT.com. And again, just seeing these long lines at clinics, I mean, you can just drive by a clinic and there's lines like wrapped around them. I mean, it is honestly kind of like surprising to see, but and even yesterday, Garrett Berger, one of our reporters, posted a photo on Fredericksburg that had like just a line of cars.
Yeah, he said people had been waiting, I believe he said for 6 hours, some of them, which seems extremely long, but we are also working on a story today for some of these sites that have been popping up. And they're scam sites.
Yes,
so they may just be trying to get your personal information. We are working on that story, and we'll have it in some of our later newscasts.
We were trying to figure out, why would anyone do that? I guess it would be just to get data on you, right? Because why would someone just want to swap?
I also think
so
they might be collecting payment as well.
That's okay. So. There you go. That would make sense. Okay, moving on to some big national news this morning, Priscilla. Today marks 1 year since the attack at our nation's capital when a mob of Donald Trump supporters stormed the building months after the presidential election.
Yes, a few hours ago, President Joe Biden marked the first anniversary by forcefully calling out former President Trump for attempting to undo American democracy. Biden vowed to defend the nation's founding ideals and said, "We must make sure an attack like this never happens again."
Yeah, and we're watching video of this from a year ago today. Hundreds of Trump supporters were at the Capitol that day and disrupted the transfer of power to President Biden. Rioters broke down windows, fought with police officers as lawmakers were forced to take cover. 5 people died as a result of that day, and many more were injured and still basically feeling some effects of that.
Yeah, and since then, federal prosecutors have charged more than 700 people related to the attack, with new criminal cases introduced every week.
And these people facing charges come from at least 46 states. That, of course, includes Texas. And NPR reporting this morning that dozens are still in jail waiting to go to trial, and some have been in there for nearly a year. So far, there have been 74 sentences. And this is, of course, just one of those moments that you probably will never forget. I mean, where were you when this happened? I remember I was here and we were watching it as it was basically all unfolding there.
Yeah, I wasn't here. I was on maternity leave,
That's
but
right,
I do remember watching it happen and watching all of the coverage. So you're right, you do remember where you were.
Yeah, and again, you know, a lot of some of those charges from Texas, and we've been covering all of that. So if you want to go back to our website, you can find a bunch of that information there. But again, more charges, possibly more sentencing on the way, as this kind of just continues to be sort of a thing that we're going to see here in the future.
Yep. So moving to another big story this morning nationally, the 3 men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery 2 years ago are expected to be sentenced today.
That's right. Travis McMichael, the man who shot Arbery, was convicted on charges of murder and aggravated assault. His father, Gregory McMichael, and their neighbor, William Bryan, were also convicted on charges including felony murder.
The men all face minimum sentences of life in prison. The judge will decide whether that would come with or without the possibility of parole.
And if you remember this, look at this. This is the video from the day that this happened. Arbery was jogging in Brunswick, Georgia in February of 2020 when the men confronted him, and it led to that deadly shooting. And again, that was just another high-profile case from last year, and now we're seeing some of the results in the sentencing. So,
yeah, it's picking back up, and again, that could come sometime today or possibly tomorrow.
Yeah, so we will continue to follow that. Okay, Priscilla, this is an interesting one here.
Yes.
If you have pets and don't have kids, Pope Francis, yes, the Pope Francis has some thoughts about it.
The Pope is calling you selfish.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
This is very interesting.
One thing to note about this, his comments stem from the larger topic of lower birth rates. He says, quote, "Today we see a form of selfishness. We see that some people do not want to have a child." And he doesn't stop there. He says parents who have only 1 or 2 kids, quote, have dogs and cats that take the place of children.
Okay, pretty strong stuff there. So he encourages to take the risk of welcoming children, quote unquote, biological or adopted. Of course, if you could always adopt, that's a great thing. It's not the first time he's commented on the topic, and as you can imagine, while some people agree with him online, his comments are definitely drawing some criticism.
Yeah, many people online are saying having kids is a personal choice. Some people say having kids is even a luxury.
Yeah, one person specifically referenced her experience with the foster care system, saying having kids out of obligation can lead to terrible outcomes for the kids and parents.
Again, this is just one of those things that's like, what?
It's weird. Yeah, it's an interesting story.
But if you were wondering, the Pope doesn't have a pet of his own, so maybe he just doesn't
Maybe needs
get
one of
it.
these pups.
Yeah.
He hasn't found his soulmate dog or soulmate cat.
How can you resist?
Yeah, and I checked this morning because I was just kind of very curious about this, whether Vatican City was pet friendly. It is not.
Yeah,
So
that would be why then.
Yeah, people not walking in there St. Peter's Basilica or the Vatican Museum with carrying their dog around or anything like that. Or
Maybe it should change. I
We'll
don't know.
Yeah, obviously people love their pets. They're like family members. Yesterday Sarah was on here filling in, and she was talking about her dog, Scooby and Sister, and they're like, honestly like kids to a lot of people. So yeah.
Well, I have kids and I have a pet, and Lucy, we love her. So,
Yes.
I get it. If the Pope doesn't, we get it.
Yeah, and our dog Chloe, same to her. So shout out my dog Chloe. Yeah, it's definitely a family member. I know she's watching right now.
Well, kids or not, here's something to get excited about. Texas is getting another indoor water park.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting news. Great Wolf Lodge, we've all heard of them, is opening a new location near Houston. So this one will be in Webster, which is southeast of that Houston area.
Yeah, the location will have 400,000 square feet of lodging and entertainment space. The indoor water park will be at least 75,000 square feet itself.
Development will start early this year, but here's kind of a bit of a bummer. Of course, it's going to take some time. It's not expected to be completed until April of 2025, so still a ways to go.
Yes, that seems like so far away, but it'll be here before you know it. Great Wolf does have another location in Grapevine, which isn't far from Dallas. They have a fairly new competitor in Texas. It's in Round Rock. It's called Kalahari.
Yeah, and so you've actually been to both, right? Or
I have,
Yeah, you have
yes.
some thoughts here.
I do. They're really nice. I think that they're both good for different things. I think that Great Wolf is really good for younger kids, and Kalahari has a lot more for if you have older kids, but definitely they're both fun for the family.
Yeah.
I will say that this new location that Great Wolf is going to come out with, it's like headed towards Galveston, so it might be. It seems like it's going to be a good location.
Yeah,
you can spend the day there and then
maybe actually go outdoor to the beach or something and hang out, have the little experience indoor as well. So I haven't been to a water park in some time. I was actually a lifeguard growing up, so it took I kind of got a lot of water park experience. my main takeaway from being a lifeguard is that people lose a lot of money and stuff in the bottom of the pool.
Really?
Always returned it. Always returned it.
Of course, yes. Yes. Well, I've never been a lifeguard, but I've been to many water parks, and I mean, I'm sorry, Great Wolf, I do love Kalahari, but they're both fun.
Yeah, I think you could both get a pretty awesome experience there. So speaking of water parks, earlier on our Facebook Live, I had just posted a little message asking people, like, what do they think about water parks? Like, are they excited about this? And Rachel Quintanilla said, yes, we are excited about water parks in Texas. So thank you very much, Rachel, for chiming in on that. And some other comments this morning, Priscilla, on Facebook Live, people asking a lot about the COVID testing sites, basically, you know, figuring out kind of where they're going to be and how they're going to work out. So make sure, you know, we're going to have that news at noon as well, and just on our website. Yeah. So.
Yep. And again, those 3 locations that they're launching, you can find those on the homepage. So KSAT.com, just click on the link and it'll list them out for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Priscilla, for being with us. I'm hearing that you may be with us again tomorrow. It's going to be Friday Fun Day.
Friday Fun Day. I'll be back. Yes.
Yeah. So make sure you guys check out the news at noon coming up here in just a little bit. Thank you very much for being with us on KSAT News Now. Look at Alyssa waving right there. Have a very good Thursday.